Hey, Jennifer, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Hey, is everybody else that's on the meeting on, or just the members at the moment?
Well, we do have Martin Landers, and we have Steve Robbie,
Okay, so
and we
everybody's
have
on.
Garrett.
Okay. All right. I've got 6 o'clock, so if we're ready, now it's giving me something else here. If we're ready, then can we call the meeting to order?
Okay, Joan Eaton,
Here.
Sean Platt,
Here.
Katie Neely, Betsy Blakesley, Mark Reynolds. I see you. Bob Hamilton. I thought
I'm here.
there you are. Frank
Oh,
Dancer.
Here.
Here.
Gotcha.
So we have enough,
You do.
and let's call the meeting to order. So can we get approval of the agenda, please? Did anybody have anything? Actually, Anne Marie was not able to be on the meeting tonight. Cindy had let us know, and so we were asked to table the bus shelters till next meeting. Anybody have anything
Approve
else?
the,
What's that? What, Sean?
He's all frozen up. I think he made the motion to approve the agenda.
oh, I just
I
the
second.
motion of the agenda with the change. Correct.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. And then audience business, no one is on for audience business, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So first up then we have Bighorn Crossing project. And we were going to review a few things, and it's come to my attention that those apartment buildings were sold last July. And so I don't know if goes to the town now to enforce the things that were not done according to the COA. It's very frustrating, and I think it was done on purpose. So anybody have a suggestion on that?
I think we're probably going to just have to talk to the town attorney and see what our options are.
Okay. Well, it doesn't put me in a very good mood to review new projects for these people.
Well, this is different people, but
Yeah, but still.
yeah, well, yes, you're exactly right. They're the ones that started the project. So
Yeah. So is it different owners that are finishing it or not? Just different builders?
I can't answer that. Hold on.
Okay. Okay, so who do we have on here for Bighorn Crossing?
Okay, Garrett Smith, Senior Project Manager for 777 Construction. We're the general contractors on the project.
Okay. And we got some new plans, or basically just a few changes in the project there.
Yes, that's correct.
Joan,
Yeah,
did you already do the who's here and who's not here?
yes. Did you just get here?
Yeah, was it at 6 o'clock or am I late?
It's at 6 o'clock. It's 6:03. Betsy, we're prompt. Mark that Betsy was late, please.
I gotcha. I'm not going to write that.
Thank God.
It happens. Okay. So you haven't missed much yet. Okay, so Garrett, please, I guess walk through with us. You've seen the plans we have already approved, and we want to know what's changing on this.
Sure. So it looks like mostly the roof lines on this one. And just real quick, thank you all for being here tonight. I know you took some time out of your busy lives to do this, so thank you. So on the garages specifically, it looks like between the gables, there was some cricket overframing that was in the original drawings. So we streamlined that because there was going to be some issues, looking at this. If we did have a tremendous winter, then that could cause ice dams, and we were not in favor of having any health and safety issues. So we streamlined the roof lines to what you're seeing now. Instead of those big gables, now it's more each individual garage has that streamlined roof that you're seeing. The other issue is we had to go from modular to stick frame. So not a big issue. It's just, it doesn't change anything aside. It's a little bit easier on me, honestly, as the project manager. Now it's all being done in the field instead of, coming on prefabricated boxes, so to speak. So, but structurally, aesthetically, it's the same structure. It's just now it's stick built instead of done in a factory.
Okay,
And
so the first thing, talking about streamlining the garage roof. Mark, do you see what he's talking about?
Not really. I'm looking.
Okay,
I can
so-
share the screen if
Okay,
if
yeah,
somebody just tells me which page.
Show us
The difference is
streamlining.
instead of individual gables, it's now all flat or the same slope in the same direction.
correct. Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Single slope instead of gables. And do you see the overframe?
Right, because before it was all individual gables. They looked like they were individual garages, and now they're all sloped towards the door in the
Correct.
same direction.
Correct. And now we've eliminated that overframing that was going to be required in the middle of the gables.
well, that makes it look like a storage building.
Yeah, it changes the rear, or changes the look of the garage for sure.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I'm looking at page, what's a good one? Well, number 1 building on page, it says building 15, page 14. And that's not what you're gonna build, correct?
Correct. Yeah, let me get to the same page that you're on. So you said you're on
Page 14,
page 14.
and it's on 15 too, it looks like.
Okay, I'm on page 14, building 15. Yeah, this is yep, correct. So we're not going to be
Oh, there it
building
is.
these garage gables. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. Correct. So if you look, there's that overframing in between each of these gables. It's really hard to tell because it's really dark. But if we have a tremendous winter, we're going to have ice dams that are going to be built up right there at this cricket overframing, which makes for a really tough constructability issue there.
Were the other ones built like this that are already built?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because this is what was
This is what
submitted
was
before and should have
approved, so
been
they-
built for the first ones.
Yeah, I think it was one of those live and learn situations where you build it and you realize, oh shoot, now we've got some issues here.
Well, the opposite, turning the gable to run lengthwise across all of them does not suit at all. That's awful. So it's on one of these front pages here.
Could be the two end ones still have the gable. And then it's not all the same.
Okay,
Looking at some photos I have, it does look like the ones currently built have the gables at each door.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
Whether they have the cricket, I don't remember.
So are the new buildings going to be, how many in each group?
How many in each? It's still 4. There's still 4 plexes. Is that your question?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's still 4, 4 garages for each units. But it looks like we're going from these gables to this this single slope roof. I'm pulling up the permit set now on my other screen here. And I'm seeing a gable. No, it has a gable. It's facing the other direction, it looks like.
Well, yeah, so it just gives it a long, flat appearance when you face the from the street side or the alley side, whichever. It just looks like it's a storage unit.
Gotcha. And I think that's why the architect offset. They tried to offset the garages to help compensate for that look. But yeah, looking at number one on the plan view that you're looking at, you're right. It's more of a streamlined look now. So that's what you're trying to avoid, is just that storage facility look.
Yeah.
Definitely. Read that.
Well,
Okay.
no, we don't want that.
Okay. And if that's an issue, we
And
can go
anybody
back.
else is welcome to speak up. Well, I feel like it's got to be broken up somehow. And Bob was suggesting the gables on the end units, maybe, or Brent, I don't remember.
I had said that, but also considering the other ones are already built with the gables over the door, makes
Okay.
sense to keep it consistent, I would think. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
We can, if the consensus is that we need to change it back, we certainly can. And I think what we can do, the other option is we might have to add something up on that roof line, some heat tape or something, just to get away from that constructability issue with the ice dams. So we can fix that.
Have you discussed whether the ones that are previously built are having that problem?
Well, that was my understanding talking to Greg Martin. So
Oh, they are having.
I have not actually seen it personally, but I think we're trying to avoid that problem from happening. So
But did-
I've not actually seen it.
Did he say they're having that problem?
He didn't say they were having that problem. He said that's what they're trying to avoid.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's a non-issue. I think what I'll do is we'll go back to the architect and we'll bring back the gables. Voicing your concerns certainly helps. So I'll make sure that they know that we don't want a storage unit out there.
Right. Right.
What would happen if you pushed out the garages like every other one, so they staggered or something to offset the front of them?
Well, they're staggered now by a couple of feet, but that's not going to help the appearance on the roadside. I don't think.
I don't think there's enough space to do a big enough stagger.
Okay,
Yeah.
probably not going to the parking.
What
Oh, I see.
a dormer?
You stuttered there, Sean.
Putting a
Can you- Dormer?
garage door. Dormer.
So
Sorry,
putting
Sean.
dormers on the roof is what you're suggesting?
That's what I was saying, maybe possibly.
Okay, I gotcha. Facing the road, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Even if you look at one of the pictures from the original drawings, I've got page 21, if you have those. And it's looking at the front of the buildings, but they don't all have a gable over each separate unit, but they all have different roof lines so that it's broken up from that long continuous side, that we would see. So even something more like that, and I don't know how. 21. Yeah. So a few gables, a few other things. So it prevents having two gables that come down together to have that valley.
Okay.
It wouldn't have to be quite exactly that sort of configuration, but to break it up.
Okay.
If you don't want to do gable.
Right. Okay. I'm writing these options down so I can discuss with our our architect on these.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just while we're on this page, this makes me think, does anybody else feel like that this picture is not what's down there right now? That I don't see any of the wood details or anything down there. I see gray and white. Is that just
Yeah,
me?
and I think the light stucco,
Yeah,
it may very well be the color that's shown, but it's definitely, it looks more like white.
yeah.
And, you know, I had been expecting something quite a bit darker than that.
Yeah. Well, and I don't see any wood details, these little porches and the little, you know, strips under the windows and things. And when I think of it, I'm not down there, so I'll take another look, but I feel like there's some things that didn't get finished.
Well, the little rock planters under the windows are not there.
Right. I knew that. So we can address all that, but
Mhm.
basically, Garrett, when you come to us and we approve something, that's what we see. So anything you do have to change, and like, that's why you're here now, obviously.
Right.
But once we approve it, we want it the way we approve it.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
we stick about that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the garage line, we're going to work on that.
Yep. Gonna work on the garage line.
Okay. And we still have 4-unit, all the buildings that are going to be built are going to be 4 units.
That's right.
Okay. And what else?
If you guys have any other issues, those are the only ones that I was aware of as far as changes from the original.
Well,
So looking at these original pictures is still what you're anticipating to build.
That's right.
And you have our comments and guidelines from the first time, right?
Yep.
The second time or whatever. Okay.
Yep.
I have a question about, isn't the lighting supposed to be, I forget what the term is.
Dark sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you talking about the apartments, Betsy?
Yeah.
I think you missed that. Those buildings have been sold. And so unfortunately, the town is going to have to go to the new owners about things that were not done accordingly now that they have bought this property. So that's the apartments. This is on the townhouse part.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at the front-
What?
If you look at the front elevation, which I guess is the east elevation on the new construction drawings, the roof lines over the doors,
Mhm.
they're all basically a shed roof, which was not what we were expecting previously.
Are you on sheet, Bob, are you on sheet A 5.03-02?
I'm on A401.02.
A401. Okay, let me meet you there. A401.02. Okay, got it. Yep, I'm here.
Right.
You're looking at detail 2, I assume.
And that's what I was talking about, the details that sort of had disappeared. There are little angular shed roofs.
There's gable roofs over the doors, and
Okay, it looks like it's these two roofs that are the shed roofs that are closest to us in this graphic. It looks like that is a gable behind the shed roof. So the ones in question are they're on the south side. Let me check the overview.
Wait, we're talking about over the doorways.
yeah,
Yeah, those were not all just straight shed roofs on the original drawings. Some were flat and some had an angle, like.
some had a gable, like a,
Yeah,
Gotcha. So
And also the slope is reduced. It was over 12. Now it's 2.
okay. Slope changes over doorways, door entrance.
yeah,
And-
that's on page 21 as well. You can see the little roofs over each entry were different.
Okay, yeah, good catch. So And just so you know, I wasn't involved with the architect on these plan changes, so some of these things are new to me, but I'm glad you're bringing them up. So
Not blaming you.
we'll make sure, I'm here to make sure that we get it right. So,
Well, that's why I say though, the original plans are what we approved. And if
okay,
you're coming to us for changes, it's only what you talk to us about, whether we approve it or not. Everything else still has to be what we originally agreed to. So if they tweak these drawings at all, these are not going to be on the approved plans. It's got to be only what we've approved.
okay. And
So,
that's why we're here, right?
right.
Okay,
So,
absolutely. Okay, so, pardon?
Or I was gonna say, the other comment I had, if you look on at least the original plans that we had, there was detailing in the upper peaks with, like wood framing, particularly on the big peak anyway. And
Big peak. This is on the units. Okay. So, okay, Bob, help me out.
okay, I'm looking at apparently a different drawing, but if you notice on the far right-hand side, there looks like there's a wood, or it's a different color
The paneling under the windows, or
at the, go to the left-hand peak.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I see it. I see it. Okay.
Little cricket or whatever it is in there.
Yep. Yep. That little bit of detailed framing in the gable, right? The upper gable. Okay.
And then I mean, I've got a different, I think I'm looking at building 6 in the Rose Mill development, but that's all right. It's the same concepts that what we're looking for is the variability from each unit in the plan
Okay.
or in the module.
Okay. I think I understand. If we got that right, which building? I'm looking at building 15. So let me see if I can find that building 6 and that detail you're referring to.
17 on the Rose Mill set.
Do you have a page number by any chance?
Page 17.
Page 17. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm there. I'm zooming in. Okay, I see what you're talking about. So in grid lines C, 06C and 06B, or sorry, 06C and 06D, in between those grid lines, we're looking at a gable looks like some aesthetic framing, essentially. Not structural, but just aesthetic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You'll note that the entry doors there's 2 different style entry doors. And I think the new plans basically show them all the same. There's like a half light door, then the full light door. Again, the concept was to come up with units not all looking the same.
Okay. Okay, so that's good to know. So as we construct these buildings, you guys want some slight variations to each of these buildings, right? That's the goal.
Right.
Okay.
But isn't it clear? Maybe I'm wrong, but if you do these slight variations, don't we want to see what those are or not?
Well, they're on the original plans that were approved. And so he has some new drawings that they've done, but the changes on these are not approved. Unless it was in particular what we've talked about. So we're telling him the things in particular that we're noticing on these new ones that we want him to go back and look at the old plans, because that is what we wanted. Not, I'm actually looking at page A 4.03-02. And it's
403-02.
building 2 west elevation.
Okay, A 403-2.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm there.
Okay, that's been changed and that's not good. See, there's one gable on the end and then they're all that flat, not facing the front. And the point is the gables face the front. Okay, now That's not the picture that I have. Hang on.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to it. Sorry. What's
Oh,
the number
that's
again?
4.03-02. It's just a couple further, I think.
Yeah, it's page 5 of 5 in that PDF.
Thanks, Brent. Okay, yeah,
Is
that one.
that it?
Yeah.
That's it.
So that does not coincide with the earlier approved pictures. These roof lines with the gables running the long way,
Mhm.
no. And then all the details off the roof are gone, and the roofs are back to sheds, and this is not.
Well, that's looking at the main building from inside the courtyard. So that would be what we would consider the back of the building. If you go back up a page,
That's the back?
yeah,
Oh, okay, my bad. It says
that would be the back of the garage you see above it. Because it says inside courtyard, so you're in the courtyard looking.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So this one is inside the courtyard looking at the back. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Tiny print. Right. So yeah, we would like to see all the original details that we painstakingly went through on those plans to still be there.
Okay.
So really the garage line was the only thing you were aware of. And then, like I say, it'll take some double checking to compare your drawings with the approved set.
Right. Yes.
Roof slopes are a little different on the porches. And also the previous plans had some divided light windows, and these do not appear to have any.
Oh, good one. Yeah, they did.
What was that? The divided light?
Yeah, some of the windows were divided lights again to give it some variation, and these do not appear to have that on any of them.
I think it's on the stucco units. The stucco parts have the divided lights. So that and the different doors, the different types of doors.
Yeah, and if it's possible to go with a darker colored stucco, so there's not quite so much contrast between the dark wood, or actually it'd be hardy board siding,
Mm-hmm.
the stuccoed areas.
Okay.
I mean, if you look on the rendered prints, it almost looks like a sandy finish stucco, a coarser finish that gives you some texture.
Mhm.
And the color definitely is not white.
Okay.
Which white stucco would not have been approved, because we do have colors and it says to be earth tone.
Yeah, the color thing from Rose Mill, it shows darker. It says off-white stucco.
With the emphasis on the off, right?
Yeah,
Not white.
really off-white.
Yeah. I see what you're talking about. SCO1 off-white stucco. So you're looking for darker, that off-white, and that wasn't, but this one was approved, right? This color, this off-white.
That one, yeah.
It did. Okay. But I'll see what we can do with the color composition to see. I mean, is everybody in agreement to go a little darker?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay. Let me jot that one down.
Because it's supposed to be an earth tone color.
Yeah.
So, and the off-white would be more earth tone.
C-01.
And I would make an observation based on lessons learned from the apartments. And it's still an issue on part of the apartment. Any materials that would be reflective, such as flashings, anything coming through the roof, needs to be preferably painted to match the material that it's bordering. I know if you look at the apartment buildings, the new on building 3, they use just looks like aluminum or silver flashing on the lower shed roofs, and then where they added the 3 porch roofs along Argentine Street.
hmm
And they're highly reflective. I mean, they're not painted or anything. The original two buildings, the porch shed roofs, the flashing on the roof is the same color as the roofing shingles, which is what it should be.
hmm Okay.
I know things like heating vents and drying vents and all that should be a dark color or should blend right in with the siding. And I think that I know that's specified in your detailed design drawings, but it just needs to be followed through.
Okay. Okay. I've made a note.
That's a chronic problem we have with a lot of new construction.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is any flashing, roof penetration, anything like that that tends to stick up and out needs to be color coordinated with the materials around it, essentially for blending purposes. Is that correct?
It should become preferably not visible, but certainly not prominent.
Not reflective. Right.
Mainly, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I actually don't feel like we are approving anything here, are we?
No,
Not that
because
we're
we'll
not-
need revised drawings.
Okay, so you kind of understand what we're looking for on the garage roofs if they have to be changed.
I do. Yep.
And then since what we still want to see is the original drawings on the fronts and other things, there's nothing that's changing on those. So if you can get back to us with just the final on those garage roof lines,
Okay.
that would be that we can put that on the next meeting for you.
Okay.
Jen, when's the next meeting?
So that is going to be December 9th.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's still, we're on a kind of weird schedule right now. All right, so we'll see you back then with that. And did you have any other questions for us or?
I don't believe so. That's
Okay,
all.
and just a note, because this was another problem with the apartment buildings on the outdoor lighting.
Mhm.
We have a dark sky ordinance and everything that's not necessarily our area, but you do have to comply with that. So all your outdoor lighting has to be not dark sky compliant. In case you don't have a note right there.
Could I ask one question? So on these, and I was not on the committee or even living here at the point.
Right.
But with regard to the window boxes, so did we like approve window boxes and then they just never put window boxes in?
Yes,
So that's landscaping.
yes.
So that's a problem, right?
Yeah, because the project is still, ongoing. Sometimes there are finishing details, which landscaping, when you're in the middle of a project, is hard to do for one building until you're really done. So we are, of course, going to make sure all that gets done. But at the moment, it's not real practical for them to do that until they can kind of get everything else wrapped up.
Thank you
But
for
yeah,
that.
that will be required because some of the units do have those stone planters on them.
I do have one question, if I may, Joan. So we're working on the foundation permits right now, and we're getting some unseasonably great weather out there, and would love to put a foundation in on at least one building. Would this DRC revision, since it's not impacting the foundation, would that be allowed to go through so we can at least start on the foundation?
Mark, do they have the permit for that already, or do you know?
They could pull a permit for that probably.
Okay.
And excuse me, it's
yes.
Jen. They have submitted the foundation permit application for 2 of the buildings. So it's in plan review right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
And go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have a question. I have a couple questions when you're done.
Okay. Not about the permit.
Well, I mean, yes, I guess it is related to the permit. And I'm glad that Martin Landers is here, and he can help with this, but the subdivision, the minor subdivision hasn't been done yet, where they divide it into the sublots.
Mhm.
And so there's the question that how will they pour the foundation when that hasn't been done yet? And I asked Safe Built, and they said as long as the setbacks and the one other thing, I'm trying to find it in my notes, was identified on the application, then that's what they would need it. But I don't know if Safe Built is going to check the setbacks. I mean, I guess we'll find out when the plan review is done, but I think they rely on the town to check the setbacks and make sure that that's all in order.
Okay, but it's not actually been established yet.
Well, that's a
They'll have to-
question.
They'll have to produce a survey that proves that the buildings are within the setback before they pour the foundations. That's part of the
Okay.
foundation permit.
Okay,
So we'll need that before that can be issued to them, I guess, then.
Okay, okay. So that one makes sense to me. If we get a survey, then we can, what is that? What happens after that? Once we get it surveyed, somebody comes out and verifies that everything's behind the setbacks, and then we can go ahead and get approval at that point, and we can move forward.
Mark?
Let me jump in here if I can, Chair.
Yeah.
Martin Landers, I'm the contracted town planner. One of the steps that has yet to be completed with this project is the preparation of a common interest community subdivision, which was done for the first 11 townhomes that were built. And before building permits can be pulled or before lots can be sold, under the town code, a subdivision has to be approved for this. The overall subdivision was approved for the development, but the common interest subdivision was never done, which is really the creation of the sublots that we're talking about that for each of these particular units. So that's a step that needs to be initiated and completed prior to the issuance of building permits.
Okay,
Okay, that makes sense. If it has to be, my understanding was we can at least get the foundation permit going, and then once that has been established and we have it surveyed, then we go through the sublot process. Is that in alignment with what you're saying, Martin?
Not necessarily. My understanding is that the foundation permit is a part of the building permit process. So,
Interesting. Okay.
you know, this is something that
Well,
maybe we need.
if I can, I
Sure.
mean, excuse me, but they were trying to say that the foundation permits could be done before the building permit. So that's where I'm sort of getting confused.
Who said they could do that?
Steve, was it Kent? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it was. And actually, if you let me up, I had a conversation with Kent a day ago, and he called after he was contacted by the developers. And I guess Kent had indicated that he was agreeable to allow them to pour the foundation and then come back later and utilize the GPS points of that foundation to establish where they're going to put the sublots. And so that was something that he had told the developer, although he did continue to reiterate what Martin has said, that there is a need for that common interest plat. And so I think everybody's on the same page. I think where the difference was is that apparently the former administrator had suggested that it'd be okay for them to pull the permit. I did talk to him if he thought that that would jeopardize their ability to do the sublots and stuff like that. He did not believe so, but that was where it originated, was from Kent.
And we still have full intention of going through the sublot process and that community, common interest community subdivision. That's not off the table. for us. I think our goal is to try to take advantage of this time, this season, and get started. So, with my commitment to you guys of continuing that common interest community subdivision process, if it's allowed, we'd love to at least get the foundation going under Kent and Steve. Thank you for bringing that up.
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
leave that to Martin, between you guys, I guess, to figure out. Garrett, can I ask you?
Madam
Yeah.
Chair, I just would say that, we always looked at it from the perspective that ultimately the risk is theirs. And that is, if they put in a foundation and it doesn't work out, the risk is theirs that they may have to tear it out. And so, obviously they are going to have to do the subdivision at the minor sub at some point in time. But, I'm a little more liberal with regard to the pulling of the foundation permit. I sure wouldn't let them pull a building permit on the house, but, and I think that's what Kent was looking at also.
Is that in writing anywhere that they would have to pull it out if it was a problem?
Well, I mean, you just wouldn't be able to issue them a building permit or a CO. So ultimately there would be a conflict there, and, it would be up to them. The way I look at it is it's platted right now for one single lot covering all that acreage. And so they can, within the confines of the law, put in, at least that one building there. And I agree with Martin. I think that they should have gone the other route, but I think that they're pursuing it from the perspective of what Kent Brown told them.
Okay, I see what Betsy's saying. If for whatever reason things fall through later, I don't want this foundation sitting out there with nothing ever happening. That's not a problem, or that's not going to happen?
Well, it seems to me that we're having kind of a general conversation about the liability associated with this. If there's a problem with the foundation, then the project manager and the developer have to fix that or do that or whatever. But that's just conversation.
Yeah.
That has to be documented.
Yeah.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I cannot agree with you more that I've seen too many instances where that's exactly what's occurred. So, I concur with you on that point.
Yeah.
We wouldn't start the foundation unless it was surveyed and we had a very high level of confidence that we were going to be doing it right. We're in this, it's a business for us, and staring out a foundation it's not good business.
Okay. What's the time frame we're looking at now? You're getting ready to just build one more building?
Yeah. So my goal is to get started on building number 2. That one would be the first priority for us.
Are those 2 or 3 bedroom units?
So 3-bedroom units.
Okay. Have you got any 2-bedroom units planned?
Do we have, what was the question?
When will you be building 2-bedroom units? And this is just, I know, a question that people are waiting,
Yes, that is a great question that I can't even answer at this point. So just so you know, the only thing that I'm aware of right now are 3 buildings. Building 2, 6, and 8 are on our top priority list. Building number 2 being the first.
Okay. And those are all 3 bedrooms?
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, I think I'm done. We'll see you next time with your revised garage roof line plans and any other questions that you might have. And anybody else have anything?
Yes, Joan. So are we going to make a note about this conversation that we've just had about the foundation?
Well, definitely. This is going to be in the minutes. And I feel like I'm not sure the process, not being the permit person, but I feel like we need to let whoever the foundation permit needs to definitely have a note on it about the responsibility one way or the other.
Okay.
Joan, I process the permits, so if you
Okay, Jennifer, we want to know.
unless you don't mean that. Yeah, I mean,
Actually, I do. Well, Steve, so you agree that we would put a note that, of course, this is being allowed to go in the order that it's being allowed because.
Accept liability for it. In
Yeah,
other words,
we can make that note, and then but it's just notes on a piece of paper because the developers, they could go belly up tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay.
So it is a risk that we can take.
Okay, gotcha.
All I'm doing is relaying to you what Mr. Brown told me. So
Okay. All right. Is anybody not okay with this as far as the foundation thing? Okay. Well, that's it. I guess we don't have a motion here. We're just kind of waiting to see what you come back with. This is not being tabled, then we'll just see your future plans at the next meeting on the 9th.
I have
Yes?
a quick question, if I may.
Yes.
Regarding the sublot, I believe, I'm just confused because I know Martin said that they're not allowed to be sold unless they've been through that sublot process. And I mean, we have a person here in the chat even too that is
Right.
saying they're a buyer. And
Yeah.
we see them listed on Zillow, and I don't understand how that's being allowed.
wow.
I don't know. It sounds like something our attorneys need to look into or something. It's not.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to answer that. I'm not privy to the for sale of these buildings. I'm in charge of construction, so I'd have to defer to Greg on that one.
Okay. Are they selling? You don't know if they're selling units already? They're pre-selling them?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No, sorry.
All right, Jen, I don't know where we go to figure that out, but obviously they can't go through with a sale until all that's taken care of, so.
Now, is that in our purview or the town's purview or the?
Well, that's the sale of them is not in our purview for sure. We're design, but
Right.
Well, it's not in our purview either.
interesting.
Say.
Sorry, you cut out.
Oops. We have a question from somebody in the audience, and I'm going to promote them to be able to talk. So Manu, you can go ahead and ask your question.
He's muted.
Is she muted?
Yes.
I think her
There it
name
goes.
is Manya.
Okay.
Manya, how do you spell
There you
your
go.
name?
Monyu, and my
Oh,
last name is Jones.
thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
I am a buyer. I bought and signed a contract in 2019. I think in I don't know, February. My original closing date was supposed to be June of 2019. So I haven't I mean, there's no purchase yet on it. I just have a contract. The builder is out of contract at this moment, but from what I understand, they're going to be getting new contracts. I don't know how that really plays into what's going on here tonight. I just wanted to clarify. I was interested in hearing what's going on just because of the major delays. So.
Okay, I don't know.
Wow.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
We're just,
Sorry.
yeah.
I share your pain. It's
Yeah.
till they're in the ground, there's not much you can do.
Right. I understand. I guess I really have one major question. If everything prior to this was approved and everything, why do we even have new plans? Why didn't we take the original plan? I guess this is a question for the general contractor. Why are there even any new plans? Why didn't we just make those small changes to the original plans?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that. I was not involved in the revision process, Manu, and I'm so sorry. I wish I could help.
Yeah.
And if I knew, I would tell you. But I just don't know, and I'm very sorry about that.
Well, the short answer is there's different people involved now than original, and they were doing modular units or pre-built units before. They've changed construction style, so they were sort of tweaking their plans a bit at this to take the opportunity. So that was mainly the reason they had some changes.
Okay.
How many people are in this situation?
I know of at least 5 because we're all on a email together, sharing information. So yeah, I know of at least 5, but I don't really know the total. So
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just don't have any control over that part of it.
right,
Oh.
I understand.
But part of it.
Pardon me?
Oh, I wasn't asking you, Manya. I was asking my committee. Who does have control over that part of it? Or there is just no control, you just have to wait?
Over how long it's taking?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have like a completion contract or anything, so who knows? I don't know. It's unfortunate. Okay, guys. Is everybody got questions answered? Does anybody have anything else? Steve or Martin or anybody? Garrett?
For me,
Okay, well, let's move on. We'll revisit this next meeting.
okay.
Thanks, Garrett. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it.
Sure. See you next time.
Thank you.
Manya.
Okay, so we have minutes from October 28th. Oh, and actually, we do need to vote to table the bus shelter item till next week. Could somebody give me a motion?
I
For
would
that?
make a
No,
motion.
you did that for the agenda.
Well, I think we have to motion it, don't we? How? Okay, does somebody want to make a motion?
I would make a motion. I would make a motion to table the bus
I'll second it.
application.
Okay, and Betsy second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Against?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then we just have minutes to approve here.
I just saw one item, Anderson.
Okay,
It was 7 windows, not 6.
okay.
Yeah.
Nobody else has anything. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the changes.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Against?
Aye.
Okay. All right. And Steve, while you're on then, maybe tomorrow are you going to be in town hall tomorrow?
No, actually, I'm only usually Monday or the Wednesday. So I won't be
okay.
back in the office until next week, Monday through Wednesday.
Okay, maybe I'll come by and we'll discuss the Bighorn project, the apartment buildings.
Yeah, I was going to ask you before you got out if you wanted me to approach the town attorney with regard to our efforts to be able to remediate the things that you're concerned about. But
Yeah.
it would probably be better for us just to have a face-to-face if you could do it, like say next week.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll do that.
I should be there I get there a little bit before lunch on Monday, but I'll be there, like say Monday and full day Tuesday and stuff like that.
All right, great. Okay, I'll see you.
I look forward to meeting you.
Okay, great. All right then. Anybody have anything else? Nope. Okay, let's adjourn. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
So-
Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much.